fantastically well today. I just finished up with a event for the Global Communicators Conference. It was an amazing event. I hope that some of you were able to join the event. It was great. We learned a lot of great insights for people that are trying to communicate at that higher level than their peers. Found great event, and just wanted to, of course, be able to show some support to my YouTube audience and audiences that are on the rest of my platforms, and just be a support here for you. I am already ready to go in terms of answering questions. So I said, let me just be able to support my audience and see if there's any leadership questions or challenges that they are facing right now that they need some additional support on. I'm here to really help you on your journey. I know typically with the live streams, it takes a few minutes for people to join. So I'll share with you a couple of highlights, some things to consider as you are developing into your leadership role, whatever that role may be. Excuse me. But this is really live Q&A. I just want to provide you with some support and help you on your journey and get you where you need to be. So a couple of announcements I would make very quickly, that over the next week or so, you'll see a couple things going on. There is a executive presence masterclass that I'm going to be hosting that will probably take place next week. So you'll want to follow me, subscribe to my channel here on LinkedIn, on YouTube, on LinkedIn and Instagram as well. And I'll be able to provide you with some insight and some support on that. So we have a masterclass that's coming up. There's a couple other masterclasses that I hosted as well here recently. So if you want some support as it relates to how you interview, or if you want to be able to present at a higher level at work or in your business, and then, of course, develop your executive presence, this is a great place to subscribe and watch some of that information. And the masterclasses are listed on my website, so you'll be able to check those out there. I'm going to see if I can get some information for another project to see if there's any other masterclasses that you all want to hear from. So if you have any, you're watching the replay, you have some topics, some leadership topics that you want to learn more information about, then this is a great opportunity just to let me know. I'll look at the comments and I'll be able to create some content for you that will help you on your journey. I know a lot of times as leaders, there's not like a book for us to read and tell us exactly what we need to do. So I'm here really to support you on your journey and help you as you're moving forward. So I want to say hello to those of you who have joined. I appreciate you all being here today. This is an opportunity for you to ask me anything. Ask me any questions as it relates to developing yourself as a leader, enhancing your confidence, developing your executive presence, mastering higher level, next level communication skills, anything that's related to leadership. This is a great opportunity for you to just ask me questions. As I mentioned a moment ago, I just finished up with a keynote speech, and it went really well. And so I was already ready to go video wise. And I said, let me come and be able to support my audience here. So Vanessa, hello. Great. Glad to see you all. There's a sloth in me house. Oh, hello. Nice to meet you. If y'all have any questions as it relates to leadership, career, just professionalism, this is the opportunity to ask me. I'm here to support you. Ask me anything, anything that, of course, is appropriate to the topic. But ask me anything. And if there's any challenges you're facing, I'll be happy to support you and answer any questions. If there's perhaps maybe a scenario you're dealing with professionally in your workplace, or maybe you're trying to transition to another career, you're not sure what to do, talk to me. Learn from my over 20 years of experience as a C-suite executive, a manager, director, a public speaker, and an executive coach. I will help you to gain some clarity if I can while we are here. So if you have any questions, let me know. I was just talking a bit about some of the challenges that come up with leadership. Oftentimes, there's not a book. There's not a book that says, this is what you should do if you have an issue, or this is how you should manage it. So I want to be able to provide you with some support and really help you. If you're trying to grow in your career, maybe you're trying to get a higher salary, let me know. I'll answer for you. So Khaled says, hi, well, hello, welcome. There's a sloth in my house that are mechanics good. They are good if you want to be able to drive your car, your vehicle, to get around. So I would say absolutely, absolutely. For those of you who know me, or maybe not know me, I really do like cars. I do like vehicles. This is definitely not a formal, video I have planned, but I actually really do like cars and vehicles. My husband and I, we both really like cars. So that's a good question. But yes, they're good, especially when you want to go somewhere. Okay, Cal says, how to get over not having a college diploma for someone who made a change career into software development. Okay, so Khaled, let me make sure I understand. So you're currently in software development, and are you trying to stay in that role, or do you want to transition into another role? Let me know. There's so many skills, and I'll wait for your response there. I will say that in today's day and age, excuse me, there's so many skills that you can obtain and so many certifications that you can obtain that have been used in lieu of a college degree. We just are in a different time now. And there's a different time that we're at now where there's so much information online. There's so many things you can learn. And I do think there are always going to be degrees out there, but sometimes just where we are, you may not necessarily have to have that. You may have the experience to get you where you need to be. So let me know. I just want to make sure I understand your question. But that's one thing I would say is getting over not having a college diploma is to make your experiences amazing. I mean, to just overshadow, you've done this, you've done that, you've done this. And actually, it's interesting you say that. I had a conversation with a client earlier today that's applying for a role that is a bit higher than where they are right now. And one of the things I mentioned is that you just have to show how well you did in your current role and how you basically overperformed and you're at that higher level already. So that's one thing I would say, and I'll just wait till you get a response back. Okay, so there's a sloth in me. Hal said, I want to be one when I'm older. Sure, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, mechanics there's a lot of things you can learn from that field. And if that's something you're passionate about and you're passionate about vehicles and making them operate, then just go for it. One thing I will say though, and this is completely not necessarily within my line of like community, like what I focus on the channel, is that things are so much computer based now. And I think if you can master some of those skill sets, especially as it relates to how the vehicles actually operate with being involved with so many computers, because the cars pretty much are a big computer now. They're a huge computer. That's what it is. So I think if you're able to leverage that as you get older and start doing your research now into some of those technologies, or maybe forecasting to see what's going to be the trend moving forward, that's a great opportunity to go into. I would say do what you are passionate about doing. That is what's most important, because as time goes on, and especially as you're getting older, you want to position yourself in a career that you really enjoy so that you have a great time in your career, but then you plan ahead to make whatever that transition is. So if you want to be a mechanic now and you want to do that when you're older, then go for it. Then absolutely go for it. Do what you want to do and just have a plan moving forward. You may get to the point where you have mastered mechanics and you're at a point where you can be a consultant for someone or establishing your own business and doing something along those lines. So I absolutely would say just go for it. Go for whatever it is that you want to do in your career. Just start developing your skill set now and looking into the industry and seeing what is moving forward, what the trends are, so you can start picking up those skill sets now. So let me know if you have any questions about that, but that's just my perspective as a C-suite executive. I've been very involved in the executive side of the world, and so I have a decent knowledge about a lot of different industries just because I have to deal with them all the time as a C-suite. So that's my answer to your question, is definitely just go for it. Just go for your career, go for what it is you want to do. Make sure that you're developing those skill sets now to position you to be a mechanic when you are older. So I hope that helps you. If you all have any other questions, let me know. I'm here to support you and kind of give you some advice as it relates to leadership, career, and etc. If you have any other colleagues of yours or friends of yours that maybe need some guidance and want to get some unbiased feedback in terms of what they can maybe do to make that transition, then let them know I'm live now, and I'd be happy to answer their questions. And even if they happen to not watch the live and they watch the replay, then I'll be more than happy to provide them with some insight and go from there. Okay, Khaled said, all right, I'm not in software development field right now. I'm in healthcare sector. Okay, but I want to change in the software development and become a web developer. The thing is that I don't have a formal, oh, okay, education in the subject. I taught myself using internet resources in that. Okay, I I th- I would say what you might want to do, because I've been in the healthcare sector for a long time, and if you're making that transition to software development, you've done a lot of self learning. Have you been able to take any certifications? I think maybe in the IT field there's a lot of different certifications that they have from what I remember. And I'm not an IT professional, but I do know that they do have a lot of different certifications. I would say one of the things I've seen people do sometimes when they're in that middle of trying to transition. Oh, that's okay. No problem. No problem about the comment. I know it has its own kappa thing, so don't worry about that. That's no problem at all. But I would say in IT, sometimes there's certifications, there's courses that you can take, but I think certification is a big deal. So you might be able to develop or obtain some certifications that are not necessarily that formal degree that you're talking about. And then I would start with some projects. If you have some projects that you could potentially showcase or some things that you have done that you can maybe create a portfolio around, then you could potentially say, all right, I'm in this sector, I'm transitioning into this role, and these are the things that I've worked on. I have this certification, whatever it is that you may have a test you have to take, or you can say, I have this certification, these are some projects that I've worked on that have been successful, and etc. And I would just start building your brand from there, and doing what you can and kind of seeing what traction you get. Because I understand, especially if you've been in one field and you're not at the point where you want to go back and get a formal degree, depending on where you are in your career. I would just try to make things work the best way you can. If you know you want to get out of healthcare and do something a bit different, then I would just start taking those steps. At least maybe get some certification so it shows something, and then just leverage your healthcare experience. So if you've been in healthcare and you've done maybe some projects that are more on the IT side, then I would completely emphasize those, especially on your resume. I would talk about maybe some implementations you've done, or perhaps you have helped with some other development of projects or etc. So there's ways for you to use your existing experience to leverage it to get you into another career. So there's opportunities to do that, especially if you want some guidance to get there. Just feel free to email me and let me know. But that's what I would recommend, is to see if there's what certifications might be relevant that you might want to think about doing. Leverage your existing experience in healthcare and use that, because I know you've done probably a lot. I know how healthcare is busy. I understand the IT side of pretty well on that end, and just be able to see if there's any projects that you've worked on that we can maybe put at the forefront of someone's mind. Now, are you looking to do this on a consultant type basis where you have your own business, or you're looking to work for an organization? So I think maybe clarifying that would be helpful, because sometimes it just depends on the company and what they're looking for in terms of what you can do. But I really believe that you can leverage a lot of your healthcare experience, because I'm sure you probably have done something I'm assuming, I could be wrong, but you may have done something on the IT side where you could probably just play that part up more, that you have experience in the software side, just in a different industry in healthcare, but you still want to be able to transition to that development field and etc. So I hope that helps you in terms of answering that question. But that is a very, very, very good question, because people have this challenge a lot of the time. Excuse me, I've been talking a lot today. So that's the reason why my voice is maybe a little bit tired, because I had the speech a minute ago. But yes, okay, so perfect. So let's see what you said. Oh yeah, I'm preparing for certifications. Now there's Oracle. Okay, I've heard of that. Oracle certifications in CompTIA and Kubernetes. I think that's how you pronounce it. And many more. Okay, so maybe do that. Are you trying to work with are you going to try to have this as a business on your own? Are you stepping out on your own? Or are you planning to work for an organization? Like, what are your thoughts about that? And if you're planning to work on your own, then of course you can do what you need to do to present your brand and put yourself out there. If you're working for an organization, what I would do is I would start looking at some of the positions that you might be wanting to apply for and see what they're asking for. Are they asking for that formal education, or are they asking for certifications? You may want to reach out to some people that you maybe have some connections with that are in IT that can give you some insight to say, okay, yeah, if you have Oracle, if you have this and you have this experience, you'll probably be all right. So I would try to find out about that. Okay. So Cal said, I like your suggestion for making projects because it is something that will demonstrate that you can create something by yourself. Absolutely. I'm very big on how can we use your existing strengths to just showcase those, because a lot of times people get really overwhelmed in their careers and they are wanting to transition to something else, but they feel like, oh my gosh, I have to do this, I have to do this, I don't have this, I don't have that. And from my perspective as a C-suite executive, I can find those things. Like there's some aspects of your career that we could probably put as transferable skills into that new role. We just have to talk about it and figure out what they are. I'm working with a client on that right now. So yes, absolutely. I'm here to really help you on your journey. I know making that transition can be hard initially, but you can do it. You already are taking certification, so you're already on your track to doing what you need to do. Okay, so Cal said, yeah, I want to become a web developer and work for some type of organization. Okay, great. So I would go ahead and start just looking at jobs and seeing what is out there. When they're looking for web developers, what requirements are they looking for? And I wouldn't just look at one. I wouldn't look at two. I wouldn't look at three. I would look at several, because one position may say, oh, we require this particular degree. But then you may look at another position and they will say, we're looking for X amount of years of experience or something along those lines. And so if they're looking for experience and maybe some certifications, then you can start to use your experience in healthcare to try to leverage that to help it be able to support you as you're making that transition, just to showcase that you have some experience, but it might be in a bit of a different perspective. Okay. Oh, okay. Your voice is amazing. Thank you. I appreciate that. I've worked really hard to try to train my voice as a public speaker. So absolutely. So that's a really good question. A lot of people struggle with that transition. I have worked with clients that have been in the healthcare sector that have transitioned to other roles. Some of them have went into insurance, some of them have went into law and went into different types of organizations and completely different career fields. So you can do it. You have the mindset for it. You're already working on your certifications in terms of the ones that are specific to IT. So I would say just keep going for it and look at those positions, see what they're looking for, so you can start reverse engineering your resume, making some changes to your resume to reflect some of the general consensus in terms of what they're looking for these positions. This is exactly what I do with my clients specifically, is that I will look at their resume, I'll look at the job description, and I'll just put them together and say, okay, these are the things that you might want to think about if this is a type of role that you're applying for. So this is something that you can absolutely do. I mean, you're already working on it right now, but just want to give you some insight there because it can help you on your journey. So if you all have any other questions, feel free to let me know. And of course, feel free to subscribe to the channel. There's a lot of content that I have here that is related to communication. Communication is really the best way for you to articulate your value. And when you're having those conversations with recruiters about, let's say, transitioning into a different career role, then you have that knowledge base in terms of specifically what you need to say. That's why I would subscribe to the channel, because you're going to learn a lot of information as it relates to communicating, executive presence, and really elevating how you are talking and enhancing your confidence so that you can be that leader that you're wanting to be in the world. So if there's any other questions, feel free to let me know. I will share with you that there is, for those of you who had just joined, there's a masterclass I'm hosting on executive presence, which will be next week. And there's a couple other masterclasses also. If you are preparing for an interview, I have on my website. There's another masterclass that is specifically related to presenting like a pro at work. And then another masterclass I have from last year is on salary negotiation. I have another masterclass that is on executive communication. So there's a lot of different resources there. Let me know what topics you all want to learn about in the comments below, and I will produce some content to help you with that. I do have a very big program I'm launching here very soon called Exceptional Executive. So I'm not at the point where I want to go into it just yet, but I want to just put that out there that this is a very life-changing program to really help you transition from where you are right now to that next leadership role and that executive leadership role that you're looking for. Okay, so Khaled said the other thing, I'm based in Tunisia. I don't know if I'm saying that correctly. I'm sorry. I don't know if it's the same thing as the United States. So I would say, just keep looking at the positions, even if they are a bit different. Just see, because I know they have job postings there, I'm sure. So I would just look at the job descriptions and see what they're asking for. And I would look at quite a few of them just to give you an idea as to, okay, these are the common themes that I'm seeing that people are wanting to have. And I would try to find out ways to put some of that information into your resume. So that's a good point. Things may be different here in the States compared to where you are. I appreciate you for joining. Thank you so much for being here. But yeah, I would just continue to look at the job descriptions and see what else comes up for you, because there's a lot of information that you will be able to find out from those job descriptions. So it sounds like you're trying to make that transition relatively quickly. The job market is always different. So I don't know how things are here or there, but I know on our end, the job markets here is pretty tough. There's a lot of uncertainty going on, and there's a lot going on here right now. And so everybody's trying to figure things out. But so that's something to think about. Okay, so you said you're 24, and I don't know why I'm feeling old for a career transition at this point in my life right now. Oh, you're definitely not old. There's people that transition into their careers when they're like 50s and 60s. So you are not, you probably had a lot of experiences to make you feel old. That happens to all of us. When we've done a lot and been through a lot, you do feel a little older in your mind, but you're younger. But sure, so you're not too old for a career transition. You're young, I would say, career wise. And so if you're wanting to make that pivot, this is a great time to do it. At least you've had some experience in one industry, and now you can transition into another industry. So you're not too old to make that change. You can make a change at any point in your career, at any age in your career, at any time in your career. People do it every single day. So you're never too old to make a change, especially if it's going to benefit you, your family, and just the overall big vision that you have for your life. I would say just go for it and just create those action steps to help you get there. And the job descriptions is one. And then also looking at your healthcare sector job and being able to put that pick out some things from that particular role that you can add into the software development and in your projects, some of the things that we talked about. So as long as you have a strategy, and that's one of the really important things when you're working with a career coach or executive coach like myself, is we work with strategies. What's the plan? What's the next steps to help you move forward? And most of the times you move forward a lot faster than you would be by yourself, because we're pretty much making sure you're getting to where you need to be. So that's a really good point. But you're never too old to change your career, like never too old to make that transition and make that particular change. Now, I do want to mention one of the things as it relates to that career transition is to always remember that there are some transferable skills that you can take from your current role to your new position. I don't want you to think that you have to start over and do everything all over again. There's a lot that you probably have already learned in your former role that can be applied to your new role. Some of it can be soft skills. You may have had experience dealing with a specific software or a specific application or a specific device or whatever the case may be. So there's always that possibility that you can transfer skills over. Just don't be afraid to do that. And a lot of times people, they will not make that career transition. And so this is a good benefit in your case because you're younger. But a lot of people that are older will not make that career transition. Why? Because they are worried that they have to make these changes. They have to start all over and do everything all over again. And they really don't. There may be some new skills they have to learn, but ultimately, they can transfer some of those skills that they learned in their specific roles to the new role they're going into, and then see what else they need to potentially maybe work on to develop. So you don't want to be in a situation where you just wait forever until you wake up one day and you're you're like 20 years in your career and thinking, oh my gosh, I should have really made a change already. You don't want to do that. And that's one of the mistakes that people make. I personally have made this mistake in different, I'd say not necessarily careers specifically, but in different job positions. If you see that your job or the position you're in is not helping you and it's not allowing you to be in that good position that you want to be in, then you need to change jobs quick. We've all been in a situation where we've been in roles for way too long and we need to make that transition earlier. And you are so very welcome. I appreciate that. He said, thank you so much for your advice. Absolutely. You're very, very welcome. Here to really help you on your journey. Feel free to subscribe if you want to be able to learn some more insights and just ways to really elevate your skills as you are communicating on your journey. So appreciate that. Absolutely. But yes, so these are great topics, great conversations to have as it relates specifically about your career. If you have any questions as it relates to career leadership, want to get some advice from a C-suite executive. I was a C-suite for many years, and I've been a manager and director, so I've been on the opposite side in terms of career development and et cetera. So I know what the back end looks like. And a lot of times, when you're applying for roles and you haven't been in those executive roles, you don't know what happens on the back end in terms of hiring and terminations and all that things. So I'll share with you my honest insights that can help you on your journey. Well, I appreciate you all for joining today and spending a few moments out of your day with me. I really appreciate it. Appreciate you all for subscribing to my channel as well. My channel has definitely had a lot more subscribers here recently, and that's because of you. And I appreciate your support on that. And I really want to help you all. So let me know what topics you want to learn more about. I'm here to help you. I will record videos on those topics very quickly in terms of how I can help you. I've been doing a bit more lives here on YouTube, so I want to help you all with that. And I'm probably going to do a bit of a different format when I get a different type of camera for my laptop to do my lives in a more formal format that will hopefully help you on your journey, especially with the topics that you all want me to talk about. If you have any questions, let me know. Feel free to like this video if you found some value here. We had some great discussions about careers and transitions and all of those wonderful things. So let me know if you have any comments, any questions. Like the video. Definitely share this to your colleagues if they're kind of in an odd place as it relates to their career and they're trying to make a transition. And subscribe to the channel. This is a great place to be. I'm trying to grow it to where we can help as many people as we can elevate ourselves and elevate our generations to do better in their careers. So I hope you all have a fantastic day, and I will see you all in the very next video. Bye for now.